standing for the Chinese national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets crackling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hello, everybody. My name is Stacy Jervinson. I'm one of the guidance counselors here at Prior Lake High School. And this is Nancy Van Horn, our school social worker. And we just would like to welcome you all staff, students, community members, and Dr. O, as we like to call him, and Mary and your wonderful family for joining us today for this great event. This is very special for all of us. Several months ago, several staff members and students sat down and talked about the idea of making Prior Lake High School an international peace site. And the concept of an international peace site might be new and a bit unfamiliar to some of you, so I'll give you a little history here. The first dedication of an international peace site in Minnesota was at Longfellow International Fine Arts Center, an elementary school in Minneapolis. It was on World Law Day in May of 1988. And as of December 2001, there are currently 211 peace sites in the state of Minnesota, and there are 750 in the world. All these schools, churches, and other organizations have accepted the challenge of being recognizable entities that embody many ideals regarding peace. It means different things to different people, but for us, we want to make a connection to our strong foundation of kindness, peace, love, and diversity that we have here at Prior Lake High School, which will continue to grow.
The foundation that we speak of comes from many years of great leadership by Dr. Craig Olson, now retired Prior Lake High School principal. He has shown us how to be citizens of the world through his own personal integrity and service to others. It is because of this that we welcome him as our distinguished honoree as we dedicate Prior Lake High School as an international peace site. We welcome you all to our celebration of peace. We hope that you will leave today with a sense of belonging to a greater community and will join us in contributing to the ideals of being an international peace site. Our peace polls, which you'll see in a moment, will be displayed outside on our high school campus, accompanied by a garden that will be maintained solely by students. They will serve as visible reminders of our commitment to one another, to our environment, and to our community. We will now be joined by the Parade of Nations, which represents all of the cultures that are currently represented at Prior Lake High School. May peace prevail on earth.
I represent America.
I'm Lydia Rusterhouse, and I'm representing American Sign Language.
May peace prevail on earth.
My name is Gehrig.
My name is Mandy. I speak Chinese Mandarin. 我们祝愿世界和平。
My name is Gehrig. I speak Russian. Да будет мир человечеству во всем мире.
My name is Sam. I represent Mexico and que la paz prevalezca en el mundo.
Hi, this is Solon, and I'm from South Korea. 세계 인류의 평화를 빕니다.
Hi, my name is Dmitry. I represent Ukraine. Hi, Budimir Hussein.
Hi, my name is Guillermo. My country is El Salvador. Que la paz prevalezca en la tierra.
Hi, hey guys, my name is Tola and this is Cambodia.
My name is Lu. This is my language. Semua di pulau bahasa India.
My name is Mana and this is Kenyan flag. We say Abariaku Nakupenda. And also this is Sudan language. We say Biman Takeliyen.
Hi, my name is Thảo. This is Vietnamese. Cầu hòa bình cho toàn nhân loại trên thế giới. Hey, I'm Anya.
And I'm Flo.
We are from Germany.
Es möge Frieden auf Erden herrschen.
Hi, my name is Arturo. I'm from Peru. Que la paz prevalezca en la tierra.
My name is Pavel. I represent country of Belarus. I represent
good evening, good afternoon. I'm Akhil and I'll be representing my country Pakistan here. Of more than 10 major languages spoken there, I'll be speaking in the national one, which is called Urdu. Dunya mein aman qaim ho.
How are you guys doing? Good. Okay. All right. Thanks, Ms. Van Horn. Okay. I would like to welcome you to the official ceremony marking the dedication of Prior Lake High School as an international peace site. Today we will recognize our new status as a peace site, identify those in our midst who represent nations both near and far, and honor our longtime principal, Dr. Craig Olson. I would also like to welcome our invited guests in attendance today, Mayor Williams of Savage, Mayor Haugen of Prior Lake, Superintendent Westerhouse, and directors from Prior Lake Savage School Board. Additional honored guests include longtime friend of Dr. Olson and fellow Peace Corps member Skip Stotts and his wife Mary Pat from Pennsylvania, and fellow Peace Corps member and friend Elaine McDermott from Wisconsin. Family members of Dr. Olson who have joined us today have come from Missouri, Utah, Pennsylvania, Washington State, Colorado, New York City, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and his younger brother who just this week returned from his second tour of duty in Iraq. Also in attendance today are Dr. Olson, his immediate family, his wife Mary Stusser, and his children Ian, a Prior Lake graduate class of 2006, and Brian, Prior Lake High School graduate of class of 2004. At this time, the Prior Lake High School Peace Site Committee will share with you the guiding principles for what it means to be an international peace site.
Okay. Whoa. The first principle of being an international peace site is to protect the environment. While we all know how to protect the environment, we don't always all do it. I want you to think about the connection between reducing waste, reusing products, and recycling in order to provide more resources for all people who may not have access to them. If we all made the commitment to try a little harder and to do some of these things, it ultimately would create more for everyone, thus enhancing the opportunities for people to have enough, thus creating more peaceful communities.
So the second principle of an international peace site is to promote intercultural understanding and celebrate diversity. That's better. Okay. So intercultural probably isn't the first thing you think of when you think of Prior Lake, but now it can be, because each one of these languages and flags represent a culture of someone in our school. And so that's like over 20 different cultures, and that's amazing. So by making our school an international peace site, we challenge you to discover one of the cultures and maybe even take it a step farther and like enjoy it. So maybe just like celebrate not only your similarities that you find, but the differences as well. And just by getting to know one person from a different culture, you can help create peace in our school.
The third principle is seek peace within ourselves and amongst others. You can do this by being open-minded and listen to other people's ideas. Don't judge, be accepting of others' ideas. Join activities that we can join, meet different people from different races, and be helpful to yourself and others.
The fourth principle of the Peace Site is to reach out to our community in service. It promotes involvement in not only our school community, but in our local and world community as well. If you want to start off on a larger scale, you could join something like Habitat for Humanity, or if you want to just do something simple, maybe it's just picking up garbage in or around our school or at a local park. If you're really feeling inspired, you could even start your own service project. This is a chance to be creative. The 3 polls are a constant reminder to each of us to get involved and help better our community, because that is what the Peace Polls are all about. We are here to create a peaceful, accepting environment for all people, and reaching out in service to our community plays a huge role in achieving that goal.
The last principle is be a responsible citizen of the world. This ties into the 4 other principles, which is protect the environment, reach out in service, promote intercultural understanding and celebrate diversity, and seek peace within individual and among others. By being a responsible citizen of the world, it's essential to abide by these other principles. Respect others, do great things, and understand it's our duty as citizens to create peace in our world. And Prior Lake High School has the potential to do this.
Okay, so what we're trying to accomplish is we're trying to create an environment that's conducive to learning and develop a school culture that is welcoming to all students. And so really what we want to be known as is we want to be known as a school that people look at and they say, wow, okay, that's not a school where, you know, kids don't get along. We just want to be known as a school that students and all people can come and be part of a peaceful environment and somewhere that they can know that's like a peaceful place, and that kids can just come and get a good education, and where everyone maybe doesn't get along and is great friends, but can just, you know, be peaceful have peaceful solutions to their problems. At this time, I would like to introduce our guest speaker for today's ceremony, Elaine McDermott. Miss McDermott worked as a teacher with Dr. Olson when he first began his long and distinguished career in education. In fact, it was Dr. Olson who inspired Miss McDermott to participate in a life-changing experience in the Peace Corps, which she will share more about in a moment. From 1977 to 1980, Dr. Olson served in the Peace Corps in East Africa nation of Kenya. And it was while she was visiting him there during that time that she saw the power and importance of working in such a capacity to serve others, which is a hallmark of Dr. Olson's career and life. Please welcome Elaine McDermott.
There went my speech. Good afternoon. It is indeed an honor to be invited here to participate in the dedication of your Peace Garden with its peace poles, as well as the designation as an international peace site. I feel especially privileged to be part of a program that recognizes the many accomplishments of Dr. Craig Olson. May peace prevail on earth. What is peace? Is it just an absence of war? Is it merely an environment of security and order? Perhaps peace is the absence of conditions that bring on war, fear, insecurity, jealousy, despair. Perhaps it is reaching across cultural and religious and economic differences in search of common ground. Perhaps it is listening with respect instead of belittling. Perhaps it is listening with and talking instead of threatening. Perhaps it is listening and mediating instead of killing. In 1945, an American told the UN Atomic Energy Commission that we must elect world peace or world destruction. Here we are, over 60 years later, in a world made poorer every day by violence, ethnic cleansing, war. The economic and environmental costs of war are staggering, but the human cost of war impoverishes the world. We are world citizens, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. We must get beyond our fear and distrust of people different from ourselves. We must heed Dr. Olson's words that understanding other countries and establishing a close connection to others around the world lays the groundwork for world peace. There are so many ways for all of us to make these connections. Community service through schools and places of worship are excellent avenues for reaching out to others. There are thousands of organizations that foster better relations between people, some working in your immediate neighborhoods, others working around the world. More and more colleges offer or require students to study overseas, maybe for 3 weeks, maybe for a year. There are food pantries, shelters for the homeless and victims of abuse. There are projects for seniors and the disabled. There are environmental organizations. They are all in your community. In the larger community, You can find innumerable ways to work for social justice and fight the devastating effects of poverty. Helping people to meet the basic needs of health care, food, shelter, and education goes a long way toward fostering peace. Many are the paths to peace. It's up to you to find the ones that work for you. Dr. Olson found the paths that worked for him. As a lifelong educator with 25 years of experience, 21 of them in this district, Dr. Olson has been a strong advocate of curriculum and programs that foster understanding and friendship, as well as a sense of responsibility. You have classes in human geography and cultural studies. You have the opportunity to be part of Habitat for Humanity, the MET group, the SOS group, the LINK crew, the Top-Notch National Honor Society, just to name a few. A very pivotal experience in Dr. Olson's life and mine was the Peace Corps established in 1961. President John F. Kennedy's famous call was, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." Heeding that call, Dr. Olson spent 1978 and 9 as a Peace Corps volunteer teaching science, math, and English in St. Paul's Gethakwa Secondary School in Kenya, East Africa. Since it was a small school and there was no administrator, Dr. Olson took on the job of headmaster, a role he really enjoyed. He had found his niche. In addition to teaching and running the school, he helped other volunteers with building projects, a teacher's house, a classroom. He also secured money for a science lab at his school, through a U.S. partnership program. When the money, which had to go directly to the volunteer, didn't arrive before he had to leave Kenya, Dr. Olson made sure it went to another volunteer. Dr. Olson lived like his fellow teachers and neighbors, without electricity or running water. He traveled the way they did, walking miles, taking public transportation overflowing with passengers. He shopped for food in the same markets they did. He told me that he was the first white person the people in his village ever got to know after Kenya's independence 17 years earlier. Dr. Olson still has contact, by email of course these days, with Kenyan colleagues and students. Like most of the nearly 200,000 returned Peace Corps volunteers, he thinks of this experience as one of the highlights of his life. Dr. Olson came home from Africa and pursued a career in administration. He knew he wanted to work with kids and people who cared about kids. He welcomed the challenges of helping young people become good citizens of the world. He, like Mahatma Gandhi, recognized that if we are to reach peace in the world, we shall have to begin with the children. Before joining the Peace Corps, Dr. Olson taught with me at St. Francis Public High School in the Milwaukee area. Once he was teaching in Africa, he sent a letter to the faculty at St. Francis. I was intrigued. East Africa was a place I had often dreamed of visiting, primarily for the incredible wildlife of the famed Serengeti. I don't know whether he invited me or whether I invited myself to visit, but I went. I spent about 4 weeks in Kenya, and I was not disappointed. Giraffes, elephants, lions, zebras, a crocodile that scared me to death, hippos, and every day was an adventure. Camping in the game parks, pushing our stuck vehicle through a dry sand riverbed, climbing to over 16,000 feet elevation on Mount Kenya, changing countless flat tires. I came home with lots of pictures and great stories to tell. I came home, and within a week, I picked up my Peace Corps application. It wasn't the lure of another great trip to some exotic place on the other side of the world that made me do it. No. It was spending time at Dr. Olson's school marking papers at the end of the term. It was having chai with his neighbors. It was meeting his Peace Corps friends. And most of all, it was helping to build a classroom in Kenya. Dr. Olson and I had spent maybe 7 hours going maybe 70 miles in 7 different vehicles to help volunteers and local people build a classroom. I carried stones. I sawed lumber. I pounded nails. And it felt good. I knew I could live the way Dr. Olson lived. and I hoped I could make a worthwhile difference in the lives of others. A few years later, 1982 and 3, I was teaching English in Naromoro Girls Secondary School in Kenya. Let me just say that it lived up to Peace Corps' advertising of being the toughest job you'll ever love. Over 90% of returning Peace Corps volunteers say they would do it again. Over 90% say the experience changed their lives. Many returned to the United States feeling that they gained much more than they gave. They came home with a deeper understanding of the rest of the world and our interconnectedness. They have seen America through the eyes of other people and cultures, and it influences their decisions and actions ever after. There's also the ripple effect. It isn't just the volunteer that experiences life in another culture. Many of them play host, as both Dr. Olson and I did, to relatives and friends that find this the perfect time to visit a foreign country and see how ordinary people live. We may speak of nearly 200,000 returning volunteers in Peace Corps' 47 years, but there are thousands more Americans whose lives have been changed by those visits, as well as through the pictures, the letters, the journals, and the stories shared, not only with family and friends, but with strangers and students. I want to congratulate Prior Lake High School students and faculty on this new Peace Garden and all that it stands for. I applaud your efforts to build bridges of friendship and trust so that peace may prevail on earth. And I congratulate you, Dr. Olson, on your many contributions to this community and your unflagging efforts to educate young people, both inside and outside of the classroom, to become responsible citizens of the world. And thank you, Craig, for the difference you made in my life, one of the most profound differences in my 72 years. You motivated me to join the Peace Corps, and I thank you. It's a gift I'll always cherish. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elaine. At this time, I would like to introduce to you the man who is the reason we are gathered here today. Just as Elaine has shared with us how Dr. Olson inspired her to become involved in the Peace Corps, so too has he inspired many of us in this room who have come to know him. Dr. Olson hired me as a teacher 13 years ago, back when we were in the original Prior Lake High School. Over these many years, I have come to know Dr. Olson as a man of the highest integrity, honor, and fairness. He has always been a vigorous cheerleader for all things Laker, attending more extracurricular events than anyone I've ever known, and never seeming to tire, or never seeming to leave Prior Lake High School. But should talk turn to him and his personal and professional accomplishments, like his 21 years of service to the Prior Lake Savage community, no one is more humble. Even after his diagnosis last year with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, more commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease, his concern for others has always taken precedence. Anyone who has visited with Dr. Olson over these past months cannot help but come away from the visit struck by his continued benevolence, his continued curiosity for the welfare of his friends and colleagues. He has always been and continues to be a tireless advocate for his family, his staff, his students, his school. At this time, please welcome two honored members of the Laker family, Dr. Craig Olson and his wife, Mary Stusser.
now I ask you to imagine me as Dr. O. This I believe, the fair and equitable treatment of all